Yeah, my name is Lakayana Drury. I'm the founder and executive director of Word is Bond, and I am from Madison, Wisconsin. Growing up, I was a very creative, daydreaming young man. I grew up in a single-parent household. I was the oldest of 3 children in a biracial family. So for me, I was literally the first black child in my immediate family, and so that was definitely dynamic, and also having the name Lakayana and it being an African name and being in the American school system was a challenge. So growing up, some of the things that defined me were both challenges academically as well as the absence of my father, and just really trying to figure out what it meant to be a black man and a young black man and a black boy in this country with very little direction as to what that answer could be. Yeah, Word is Bond was founded in 2017 when I was teaching at Rosemary Anderson High School, and with the support of the executive director there, Joe McFerrin, who's one of my mentors, helped me kick off Word is Bond in the summer of 2017, and we're all about empowering young black men. One of the things that Word is Bond does is we harness what I would call the soul force of black boy joy and combine that with storytelling in very dynamic ways to empower young black men to both discover who they are and tell their stories in powerful ways. So we have a summer internship program called Rising Leaders, which is a 3-year rite of passage program that takes them from when they're 15 years old and guides them through a number of powerful leadership experiences, culminating in a trip to Ghana in West Africa, where they get to see their own ancestral roots and kind of connect with the power source of who they are. So in our Rising Leaders internship program, we do career exploration, public speaking, we talk to elected leaders, we do community engagement, education exploration as well. And then throughout the school year, our program is called Level Up, and that's all about the individual ways in which we level up on the paths that we want to go. So in Word is Bond, we don't say, hey, this is the direction that you have to go. We bring you in and say, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? And how can we create a platform for you to be great? So the young men in our program, I would say it's about 50-50 split between peer-to-peer recruitment. So half of our group is coming in and having heard the program from another friend of theirs. And then the other half is just community engagement. We go to schools, after-school programs, and talk with youth and encourage them to apply for our program. So the best way to do it is to go right to our website, mywordisbond.org, and there's a nice little button at the top that says contact us. Send us a message, whether you're a young man who wants to be a part of our programs, whether you're a parent that wants to get one of your youth involved in it, maybe you're a local organization that wants to do one of our In My Shoes walking tours. All of our information is available on our website to get connected with us. If you're looking for something a little more fun, head over to our Instagram page. We have a whole bunch of videos, we have content on there, we have polls, so you can kind of see and feel what it is that we're doing, and you can send us a message on there as well. I mean, there's so many different success stories. I think the one that really speaks to me is about a young man named Ristam. And in 2020, Ristam was the first one to sign up for our program. And this was like way back in April. And then in May, at the end of May, George Floyd was murdered. And part of our program involves dialogue with local law enforcement officers and how do we build trust in a system that's very broken. And after George Floyd was murdered, Ristam told me that he didn't want to be a part of the program anymore. Before we had even started, but he said, you know what, I don't want to engage with any police officers. And it was so understandable given the circumstances and everything else. But when he decided not to do the program, that's when I really knew I wanted Ristam. And I was like, I want young men in our program that are not afraid to go on their own path, aren't afraid to know what it is they want. And just from my conversations with him, I knew Ristam was a natural born leader. And so I met with Ristam, and I said, I totally respect and understand your decision, and I gave him the larger vision of what Word is Bond is, and that this is a brotherhood. This is a program that can really take you to new heights and new experiences, and you'll get to meet and interact with so many different people, not only just law enforcement officers, but elected leaders, young black men from across the city. You'll get a chance to tell your story in powerful ways and empower your own future in the direction that you want to go. When we have our conversations with law enforcement, it isn't necessarily that we're saying, this is what you have to feel. Your view is up to you, and we just want to reinforce that. And at the end of that conversation, I said, this is what our program's about. Take some time to think about it, and if this sounds like something you want to do, circle back to me. So I gave Ristam about a week of time, and he called me back and he said, Mr. Drury, I want to do the program. And at the end of the summer, Ristam came to me and he was just like, this program has been so impactful to me, and he was so glad that he did it. And one of the things that he's really passionate about is podcasting. And he wrote a poem in our summer program called I Got a Story to Tell, which was actually the theme of our summer that year. And it was published in our poetry book. And then he was invited on OPB, on their Think Out Loud podcast, to read his poem aloud and talk about his story. And so it's just like, it just shows like, if he had just limited himself to what he saw on the outside, he would never have had that chance to go on OPB, to have his internship, which he had with us at Titan Freight, and to do some of the other successful things that he's done. And now he's just pledged to a fraternity, he's in college, he's doing other amazing things. And not only that, Ristam has recruited, I could say probably 10 individual youth have directly come from Ristam. So that's just one story of many of what our young men have accomplished through our program. I think the end goal is twofold. With Word is Bond, we're planting seeds. And as you know, with anything that you plant, it takes time to grow. And what I see as the ultimate end goal is to see the flowers that we have grown in 10, 15, 20 years. I really feel strongly that the next generation of leaders that's coming out of Portland and coming out of Oregon, a lot of them are coming through our program. And I just can't wait to see what they bloom into. And so that's the immediate goal. But the larger, grandiose goal, I would say, is definitely to make it a national program, a national model on what development for young black men looks like. Because at Word is Bond, we're not trying to be the super program that serves every misalignment in the community. We want to focus on one thing and be really good at that. And I call it small batch leadership. We are unapologetically focusing on young black men and want to become experts on that. And we don't have a mission statement, we have a mission question. And that question is, what if young black men were empowered to their fullest potential? And when we think about that question, I want people across the country to be able to point to Word is Bond and say that program right there, they have a solution for it. They've been able to empower young black men to do whatever it is they want, whether they're creatives, whether they're artists, whether they're musicians, whether they're athletes, whatever it is, that we focus and hone in on that and create a platform for them to be great and to pursue what I call their freedom dreams, their ultimate ambitions, whatever that is. We're a small but mighty organization. Right now we're a staff team of 3, and the biggest thing that we need is just resources, capacity building resources to reach even more young black men. We want to grow our staff team so we can reach even more youth, get them involved in more programs. So if you have resources to that, access to technology, whether it's computers, drones, recording equipment, cameras, technology, anything like that we can get our young men to get their hands on would be fantastic, and just other opportunities. I get them all the time from people, whatever it is, whatever area that you specialize in, it can be an asset towards what we're doing. It could be a guest speaker coming in and teaching a class. It could be an internship site that one of our young men could go do at. It could be an old, gently used suit that somebody could wear for a job interview. We utilize all resources. We're like the ultimate recycler, and we can put anything to good use to empower young black men, which has a long-standing reciprocal act to it, which is all of this will come right back to our community, and you will help empower the next generation of leaders here in Portland. Yeah, I would say for two things. So our 2023 Rising Leaders program will be starting in June, and our applications are going live in April. This summer's theme is We Are Freedom Dreamers, and we're looking for 20 15-year-old young black men that are ready to empower their future. So if you or you know of a young black man who fits this category, please send them our way. The second thing we have going on is our Black Star Homecoming Expedition, where we are sending 15 young black men to West Africa, to Accra, Ghana, for a 14-day leadership trip, and that'll be happening this July. And we are still looking for donations to help make this project happen. So if you have resources or anything of that nature, we would love to have your support to send these young men on this once-in-a-lifetime leadership trip. In that trip, we'll also be filming a documentary and creating a poetry book around that experience. And again, that's the Black Star Homecoming Expedition.